Hello everyone, I am Sunil from E2E Mentorship Program. In this video, we will discuss regarding JavaScript arrays. Okay, let's get started. Array is a special variable which will store more than one value. Okay, so it may be a string, it may be a number, or it may be a empty string, or it may be a empty array, or it may be a object. Okay, suppose usually one variable will store one data or one value. So, but in the case of arrays, which will store more than one value. Okay. So, in example one, we see here. So, array having three values of Hardy, BMW, and Tata that will be in the string. So, and this is the array structure. So, cons is the variable declaration, and car is the variable name, and we can store the values of element 1 and element 2 and element 3 in the array by comma separated values. Okay, so in example 2 I already told, so array not only having strings but it also having numbers. Okay, so example 2 is the one instance to show array also having numbers. Okay, example 3, so it are not only having numbers, it also having strings and also objects. Okay, so array, it may be an empty array or it may be an filled array. Okay, so this is about JavaScript arrays. So now you know that array will be declared through const or let. Okay, now we are using const here, and we can take any name here. Const color equals array, we know that it will be enclosed through box braces. Now we can take any colors here. Red, I will take blue here, blue. I will take pink here. Okay, so I want to console log here, console dot log of color. See, red, blue, and pink. That way, these are the three elements that will be separated by the commas. So why we use arrays? So we know that array is a special variable which will store more than n number of values. So suppose we have a list of cars or n numbers with us. Now we want to storing the list of cars or a numbers in a single variable. We will look like this. Okay. So for example, car 1 will be stored in Audi, and car 2 will be stored in BMW, and car 3 will be stored in Tata. Now it is easy to loop which car is in which variable. Then what if the case we have 200 or above or 2000 or above? Okay. So we can easily identify Audi will be stored in the car 1 variable, and BMW will be stored for car 2 variable, and Tata will be stored in the car 3 variable. And what if the case it is having more than 2000 or 3000 list of items? Okay, and that cases, to overcome that, we can use the arrays, and it can hold multiple values, and each value will be accessed by referring on index number. Okay, see, index number as starts from 0, so arrays always index number will be starts from 0, and array length as starts from 1. Okay, see, I told that, so array having n number of values. Okay, here we have three values. Okay, so index of an array will be starts from 0, 1, 2, but length of an array will be starts from 1, 2, 3. Next is creating of an array. So using an array literal is the easiest way to create a JavaScript array. So first of all, we come to know, so array will be created by using two methods. One is array literal method. Another one is we are using JavaScript keyword new to construct an array. Okay. So this is the instance of array will be created by array literal. So we know that. So while creating or while declaring an array with const keyword is the best practice. So elements are separated by commas and enclosed within square brackets. Okay, we know that apple, mango, and grapes are the elements that will be separated by the commas and will be enclosed by the square brackets. Spaces and line breaks are not important. Okay, see, so in this scenario, we can write apple in the one line, mango in the second line, and grapes in the third line, but it should not become in three lines. The output will be coming in one line. Okay, so let's see how it is works in VS Code. Now coming to the example, so we know, okay, so red is the one element, it will be in one line. Blue is the one element, it is in one line, and pink is the one element that is in third line. Okay, so now what is the output? It should not be in the three lines, but it should be in the single line. See, red, blue, pink will be in the same line. Okay, so that is I am telling spaces and line breaks are not important in an arrays. Next is creating of an array using JavaScript keyword new. Okay, so in this we can create array using new array constructor. So this is the new is the keyword. So new array is the constructor. In this we can store the elements as LG, BPL, and TCL, and then output is LG, BPL, TCL. Okay, so we can see in the VS Code, for example, const same variable we can take color equals new. We are using new JavaScript keyword like new array constructor, and we are storing colors here green. Now we can go to console log of color. See the output. See, red, blue, green are the three elements that also in the array format. Okay. But in the common practice, we are not using this method. We use only literal method because of its simplicity, readability, and execution speed. Okay, so we are not going to use array new constructor method, but we are going to use array literal method because of its simplicity, because of its readability and execution speed. So we know that array is a special variable. It can store n number of values or multiple values. But how can we access of the particular value of an array element? So how can we access particular element in an array? So now we can see how we can access of an array elements. We access an particular array elements by referring index number. So we already saw that, okay, index number will be starts from 0 and length of an array will be starts from 1. Okay, so we know that, okay, index is a numerical value is exactly because it starts from 0, okay, and 1 and so on like that. So that represents the position of an elements in an array exactly. Okay, see, so array having these three elements. Okay, so 0 is the position of id, and 1 is the position of element 2, and 2 is the position of data. Okay, so exactly. The first element has an index of 0 and second element has an index of 1 and so on. Okay. So that's why we are telling, Okay, the index is a numerical value. Okay, means the array index is a numerical value that represents the position of an element in an array. Okay, suppose we want to access values, the code will be like below. Okay, see, suppose we want to access the values, the code will be like below. Okay, for example, okay, so I want to access id. Now what we are doing, car of 0 means I will access the id value by mentioning, okay, by access the id value, access the id value by mentioning, okay, index number 0 here. Okay, console log of, okay, car is the variable name, okay, of 0 it will gives the id, and cars of 1 it will gives the bmw, and cars of index 2 it will be gives the value of tata. Okay, so let's see in practically in vs code. Const we can, now we can take numbers, const numbers equals comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Now I want to access, 3. So now I will access through index number, correct, right? So which index number? The variable numbers index number. Okay. So one will be starts from 0, I know, two will be starts from 1, I know, three will be starts from 2. So now we want to access 3. I will give the index number as 2. Okay. So now we see in the console log, see it will be coming 3. Correct, right? So that's why, so array index is a numerical number that will be starts from 0, and second elements will be starts from 1, and so on. But now coming to the array length, okay, we take an array length, suppose, okay, console dot log of numbers dot length. See, console dot log of numbers dot length. See, it is having 5 lengths. Okay. See, the index is starts from 0, okay, and it will be goes on increasing 1, 2, 3, and so on. But the array length will be starts from 5. Okay. So suppose how can we obtain, okay, last number of an array? Suppose we know console dot log. We don't know because we don't able to count, right, because in the large in the lengthy numbers how can we count, right? So suppose I want to access the last number, and that cases we will go like numbers dot length. Okay, suppose we want to access the first value, we can go like this, console dot log of numbers. Okay, I want to access the first value, and that case it should be index will be 0. Okay, see, I want to access the first value, it will be coming like 1. Okay, numbers that length means it will be having 5 of length, but it will be index of 0 to 4. Okay, so now I want to access last number, console dot log. Simply I give numbers of 4. Okay, it will be given the value, right? Console.log of numbers of 4 is 5. I will access the value of 5 by mentioning index number 4. Okay. But what in the case? I don't know the number's length. I don't know the index of last value. Right? In that cases, console.log numbers of numbers.length minus 1, because we know numbers.length, see, for the last value will be the 5. Okay, so next is changing an array element. So we know that accessing of an array element using index numbers, and also changing of an array element is also happened by accessing index number or by mentioning the index number to change an array element. So this is the best scenario to show how an array element will be changed. Okay, for example, okay, phone is an array, so having three elements. Okay, so suppose we want to change, okay, Vivo in the place of iPhone. Okay, so we can write, okay, phone index of 1 means Redmi is in the place of zeroth index, iPhone in the place of first index, and Samsung in the place of second index. Now we want to change Vivo in the place of iPhone. We mention index of 1 equals that value has to be replaced in the place of iPhone. Okay. Now we can go for console log of phone. Okay. It should not show Redmi, iPhone, and Samsung, but it shows Redmi, Vivo, and Samsung. Now we can see practically in VS Code. Let's say const, okay, numbers. You can take numbers here, or we can take anything. 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7. Okay, so now we want to change. Okay, so here 1 to 7 we have number series, so we don't have 8 or 9, but we can want 8 or 9 in the place of anywhere. Okay, suppose in the place of zeroth index I want. Okay, so now I will change numbers. Okay, I will mention index number of 0 because I want to replace 8 in the place of 1, equals 8. Console.log of numbers. Now we see the output in console. See, first is 8, second is 2, third. So zeroth index is 8. Now we can see in the console first is 8. Okay, see, first is 1 will be replaced by 8. Okay, this is how an array element is going to change by accessing an index basis. So next is converting array element into a string. In this case, we can use, okay, to convert array elements into a string, we can use two methods. One is toString method and another one is join method. Okay. So both method allows us to concatenate the elements of an array into a comma separated single strings. Okay. So let's say practically. So this is the example. In this example, we are having arrays in the numbers. Okay, that is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Okay, so we are making console log of numbers to obtain normal output. So whenever we are going to make the string by using join method, okay, then what is the output? So we have to see next. Okay, so just I have to console here. Okay. The first console log is the normal output, right? So it will be in the array that is comma separated values. But second output will be join method. Okay. So we know that. So in JavaScript we can convert an array into a string using join method. Correct, right? Another one is toString method. So, but we are applying here join method. So from this we can come to know. So the output will be came within a string, right? See here, the output will be within a string, but normal output will be within a array, but the elements will be separated by the comma separated values. Correct, right? So now we are going to use here toString method instead of join method. Then what is the output? See, normal output should be normal only, but when we want to create the output of an array within a string, okay, so we will obtain through toString method also and the join method also. Okay, so why we doing this? Because this is useful when we want to represent the array in readable way, or when we need to work with the array as a string instead of an array. Okay. Next is arrays are objects. Okay. In JavaScript, arrays are special type of object. The type of operator in JavaScript shows an array is object because it acts like a key value pair. Okay. In that key is a index number and value is an element. Okay. See, what I come to say is, so why we consider array as an object? Because while we supposing, so while we are accessing the array elements, what we are using index number, and so index number is acts as a key, and so the element is acts as a value. That's why the type of an array is considered as object. Okay, so let's see practically. Console.log type of that array, that is normal array, it is not converted to string, right? So next we are here also we can see, after convert to the array into a string, what will be the type of that array? That like type of number in string. See here, the output will be like normal array, so we are not going to convert this array into any string. Okay, so we can access only the elements of an array here by using console log of numbers. Okay, so it will become here the output. So and next is we can console log type of that array, right? So numbers is an array, so and for that we can use type of an array. What will become the output? The output will be the object, right? The type of an array is an object. Okay, so why? So suppose we can access these 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 through index numbers only, right? So index numbers will act as a key and the value will be acts as a key value pair. Okay, and then so for this it will already converted to the string, so this array is already converted to the string. Next we can go and use the console log, that is type of the console log, so that will become came with the result like string. Okay, so this is the basic introduction of JavaScript arrays. Okay, thank you for giving this opportunity.